All right, we're here. Prop the Mic, presented by Prop Stock Cash. Coming off a nice, relaxing Thanksgiving day. We got a special guest. We got Josh, aka Jonesy Trends from X / Twitter. What's up, Josh? What's up, Dave? How was you guys' Thanksgivings?
It was good, man. It was good. Like I said, spent a lot of time with family. Got a little bit of cat naps. We made a little bit of money on college football, NFL. So it was a good Thanksgiving.
Successful. It sounds like a successful day.
Yeah, it was fun. There was a lot of different sports on yesterday. The NFL games were kind of disappointing. Most of those were blowouts. Actually, all of them were blowouts. But nevertheless, there were some good spots that hit, and looking forward to getting back to basketball today.
I think we can all agree that NBA on Christmas is better than NFL on Thanksgiving.
100%.
I mean, I love NBA on Christmas compared to NFL on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finally, it's like the first year that the Lions are actually relevant for a Thanksgiving game, and then they just go out there and give up that performance. It's like, what is going on here?
Oh.
Yeah, you thought they were moving forward with their franchise, but I'm not so sure after watching yesterday.
Yeah.
But Packers are playing well. Packers are coming on, so we'll see. We'll see where they go. All right,
Yes,
let's dive into today's slate. So we got 10 games. I think they're all in-season tournament games in the NBA, which is exciting. I did just like a quick check-in because I haven't really been following who's who in the in-season tournament. So again, we got 6 groups, 3 in the East, 3 in the West. I'll tell you who's leading each group. So you got the Pacers in Group A in the East. You got the Bucks and the Heat tied for first place in the Division B. Celtics in C are leading there, and then the Lakers in the West in A are leading. They're the only team that's 4-0, so they've clinched already. Pels and Nuggets are tied in the B division, and then Kings and the T-Wolves for the last division in the West, and they're actually playing tonight, so that's relevant. So that's kind of who's like leading the standings. I think these games are critical. You've already got some teams like Washington that are already eliminated from the in-season tournament, and there's actually a handful of others in the West. One quick thing I looked at, everybody's been talking about, all right, these in-season games have really leveled up the competition and the scoring and everything. So I just looked at, like, is that actually true? So the average points scored in the NBA so far in in-season games is 113.8 per team, right? The in-season games are 115.5. So basically you got like about a 2-point lift. But actually that's most of that is caused by the start of the season with the teams averaging about 110 points as they've ramped up into the season. So slight lift in scoring, nothing major. But certainly I think tonight's slate will be competitive.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious about minutes. I'd be curious. I'd like to run some analysis to see how players' minutes are. Is it more of a playoff atmosphere where minutes? Obviously, they're not playing 40 minutes a game, but like they do in the playoffs. But I think do the rotations get a little tighter? Are there more minutes to be played? I think that's something we should take a look at.
Yeah, certainly. So. All right, let's dive in. So we do have our first day game starting up in a couple hours. So let's talk about that one first. We got the Celtics at the Magic. Magic are getting 4.5 at home. Total is 222.5. Remember, the Magic kind of owned the Celtics last year. They won the last three games against the Celtics last year. So, but different squads obviously going up against each other. Josh, I'll start with you. What's standing out for you in this game?
So I like Kristaps Porzingis in this spot here. I'm seeing that you can get his points at 19.5 right now. That's pretty much throughout the books. I mean, 18.5 on FanDuel. But if on Props.Cash, I like to look at 1 day's rest. He's been amazing on 1 day's rest this season, covering in 5 out of his 8 games. You look at 1 day's rest on the road. He's been able to cover this number 20, 29, and 26. So I really like this spot. I also think you could potentially lean towards the points and rebounds for him as well. Last 7, the Magic are giving up the 3rd most rebounds to the center position. And then again, on 1 day's rest, he's been able to cover that 26.5 number in 2 out of the 3 with 25, 35, and 34. And that is on the road when he's covering the 1 day's rest. I just think this is a prime spot for Chris Stapps. We've seen him get integrated into the offense a little bit more as of late. And then Drew Holiday is also doubtful for this game. So I think, we'll see Chris Stapps get a little bit more production. That's just how it goes when you take a starting person out of the lineup. I think the combination with Jaylen Brown and Chris Stapps, we've seen it last game. It was looking really fluent with the pick and rolls and them feeding off of each other. So definitely love Chris Stapps in this spot. He's also played the Magic really, really well. I know that, like, some of these games are, him with the Washington, him with the Knicks, but last time he played him 30 points, 6 rebounds. The game before that, 17 and 6. Game before that, 30 and 13. Game before that, 35 and 8, 19 and 7, 17 and 10, 24 and 10. He usually plays the Magic really well. So I love Chris Stapps in this spot against this Magic defense.
Nice. Tom, any thoughts?
Yeah, it seems like a money spot for KP there. I didn't have much on this game, so I didn't do too much digging. I don't have too much more to add, but I don't know. What do you got, Dave?
No, I actually didn't have much on this game. Mostly because of the uncertainty in the lineup on the Celtics side. But I do think KP's in a good spot. I think especially with the Magic being shallow on the center position, right? They're rotating between Goga and Mo Wagner. So I think that's without Wendell Carter in the lineup, I think this is even better. So I think that's a good spot. I'd probably lean points over the PR in this one. So I like that play, Josh. Nice.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's move to the next one. We got the Pistons, Pacers. Pacers are -7.5, totals 242.5. Tom, before we went on air, you were saying that the total was 247.5 when you woke up this morning. But I think there's maybe some player uncertainty. Maybe Halliburton is questionable for this game. So obviously that changes a lot. Tom, why don't you start us off on this one? You like anything?
I mean, that would change my pick in this game because my pick was on Halliburton here. This is just an awesome spot for him. I love his points here, 25.5 points. It was -105 on DK. I don't know if this has moved around since the questionable tag got put on, but Halliburton does his scoring in 2 locations. He scores in the paint, right at the rim, and he scores from 3. So there's quite a few point guards, similar game profiles that have just like crushed against Detroit here. Garland had 28 points, Maxey 29, Dame best comp I think to Halliburton on here at 34 points, SGA 32 points, LaMelo the only one who fits this profile who didn't get there with 20 points. And then if you look at the point guards who do a little bit more prioritize a little bit more shooting from the outside and not so much scoring at the rim, Steph put up 34, CJ 33. I mean, you got almost every single point guard to play against Detroit is clearing this line and by quite a bit. So hopefully Halliburton plays. Love this spot for him.
Yeah, he's still showing up on FanDuel. I just popped over there at 25.5 points. So
yeah, I think
and on RotoWire he's still projected to play. So even though he's a game time decision, it looks like he's going to play. So coming off of 2 really good games, it seems like a great spot to go for him. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, so initially my look as well was looking to back Tyrese Howell. With the questionable news, it kind of concerned me a little bit in this spot. But another spot that, I think it's kind of sneaky, and I think it's going to be a little like risky because guards have just absolutely killed the Pacers just with the pace of the play. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Cade Cunningham on the road is just it's bad. He does not produce the same on the road compared to when he is at home. You look at his road splits. He's only been able to cover this 23.5 number in 3 out of his last 14 games.
Yeah.
I know guards usually kill. I mean, the Pacers like Schroeder dropped 26. Let me see. So Schroeder dropped 26, Trae Young 38, Maxey 27, Maxey 50. And then as it goes down, it kind of dwindles down a little bit as far as guards being able to cover. So I think the numbers get a little inflated with, guards like Maxey and guards like Trae Young that are more like, fast and can get to the rim. Cade, he kind of just settles a lot. Like I've watched Cade tends to settle, but this 23 and a half, I honestly think it might be too much. And it's crazy to say in a game like this where, the Pacers, the pace and everything, but his road splits, it's just, it's awful. So I'd lean Cade under his 23 and a half points. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's probably one of my outside of Tyrese.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize that. I mean, it makes sense. The young guys tend to perform better in the home environment. Yeah, you can look. This is his home games here on Props Like Cash, bunch of 25 plus, and then his aways are yeah. You had a big one against Milwaukee, one against Miami, which is kind of ironic. I would think he wouldn't do so well against Miami, but the rest of these, yeah, not even close. So it's a gutsy play in a 242 point game, but it definitely looks good.
And I know that Jalen Duran is supposed to get back integrated into the lineup. I seen he was probable today, so that kind of is. Cade could, just want to dish it off and give it to him, and a fast-paced game like that. But Cade, he's played the Pacers 4 times, and he's never been able to get past that 23 and a half number, 16, 19, 20, 22. He's creeping up every single time he plays them. But I don't know, man. His road splits. I take a lot of value into home and away splits. So
yeah,
he's been able to perform really well at home, but outside of that on the road, it's just not the same.
All right. I like that play. Josh, just push your camera up a little bit just so the audience can see your face a little bit more. There you go. Perfect. All right. So what else in this game? Anything else, guys?
I had one other. So this guy is a beast on the boards for a rookie who's like projected as really like he's not a front court player, but like based on cleaning the glass here, he is like he's slotted at forward here based on where he's matching up. Dave, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I lost Tom for a second.
I think he glitched out right there.
Give him a second, and then we'll continue on.
On the road, look at his rebounds on the road. He's hit double-digit rebounds in one this season. Guy is just a beast. His line's only 8.5. You can get it at -120 on DK. I think this is just a no-brainer. I think his lines will start to come up. You'll start to see him at 9.5, 10.5. This guy's just a beast on the boards. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think you cut out there for a bit, but I think you're talking about Thompson, right? Yeah, I mean you kind of gave us a good intro by saying the rookie who's grabbing a lot of rebounds. So I knew you were talking about, but yeah, no, this guy's incredible. Draymond was just talking about him the other day too. He was basically saying this guy's not getting enough attention, right? Wemby, Chet, like all these scoring rookies are getting the attention, but this guy's a silent assassin. I mean, getting 10 rebounds, almost averaging a double is like insane for a rookie.
It's insane. Yeah. And for a guy like he's shown as a shooting guard here, he's not really, but like what shooting guards are like rebounding the ball this much? So he's weird. I think where he actually ends up playing will evolve, but I think let's get him. I think this line's a little bit low in this spot, so Ausar Thompson 8.5 rebounds. Let's go.
You did a better job pronouncing his name than I did. Thank you. All right, let's move on from this game. Let's go over to the Nuggets. Rockets, are they playing? Is that who we got? Yeah, Houston. Rockets are getting 3.5 at home. Total in this one is low, 214.5. Josh, you got anything in this one?
Yeah. So for me, looking at this one, I love Alperen Sengun's assist over 4.5. In this spot, anytime he gets a chance to play, a big like Jokic, he's had success, especially on 1 day's rest. He's been able to cover this number in 5 out of the 8 games. And then if you look at on 1 day's rest at home, he's actually covered this number in 3 out of the 3 games versus the Nuggets, averaging 6.7 assists per game, 8, 7, and 5. I think this potentially could be a ladder spot. You're getting plus money at 4.5. I couldn't talk you off of playing it up to 6. I know Fred VanVleet, he's kind of been, more ball dominant lately and been getting the assist, but Alperen is highly capable of getting assists. I've cast on him a couple times this season already, so that's probably my favorite look in this spot. Is just they compare Alperen to a baby Jokic, pretty much is what they say.
That's right.
So I think anytime he gets the chance to play him, he's going to try to play up. So I mean, and the Rockets have been great at. So I love. I think the game's going to be competitive. Nuggets have been on a tough road skid here. I think Jokic is going to want to play well, and I think Alperen. I don't think there's going to be any like blowout potential here. So I think Alperen should have a lot of minutes and should have plenty of opportunity to cash this 4.5 assist line versus the Nuggets here.
Yeah, we love him at PTM. That's a masterful use of filters there on props.cast, Josh. So we're looking at home split, 1 day rest, and versus Denver. So that's 8, 7, and 5, like Josh said. I think I don't know if he'll get 7 or 8 because I like you said, I think those games last year were without FVV. But getting 5 at plus money is pretty nice. So I think that's a good base for the bet, and then maybe sprinkle a little something on a ladder, like you said. Okay, cool. Tom, you got anything in this game?
No, but that would be my pick. Never have to, like you said, never have to convince me to bet on Sengun. We love him here.
Okay, cool. Josh, you got anything else on this one?
No, I don't think I'll have anything else. I mean, I do lean, like I said, I think Jokic has a big game as well.
Yeah.
He played without Jamal Murray lineup, and this is kind of like a must-win game for him. I feel like they need to get this win before they head back home on Sunday. So I see his points are at 29.5. He just played him recently and had, I want to say, like 36 and 21 against them. He doesn't usually play them well, according to head-to-head. But this is a different Rockets team. They're a lot more competitive than what they were last year. So I think a lot of those games potentially had to do with like blowout last year, where it was just like a walkthrough for Denver.
Yeah,
Denver hasn't been playing particularly well, so I do think Jokic kind of tries to put the team on his back tonight.
Yeah, he didn't play more than 27 minutes last year against the Rockets. In the one game this year, he played 38.3 minutes, so and scored 36 points. So I think that's a good play. Centers versus the Rockets have had some big games. AD, I think, is a good comp at 27, and then like we said, Jokic just put up 36 not that long ago. So I think that's a good look. I'm gonna throw one out to you guys here. Reggie Jackson.
He's been a whack.
Over it's coming up. I had it at 12.5 before. It's up to 13.5. So I'm gonna give the numbers out based on 12.5, and then I'll look after and see if they're all still relevant. But so again, I was looking at filters as well. I filtered Reggie Jackson up to 25 minutes. I'm going to do that here on props.cash, right? And if you just look at that over the last, over the last year, he's basically nailed that in 10 straight games while he was on the Nuggets. And then also, if you look at him just this year, that's basically, what is that? 7 straight games hitting the 14-point mark. So I think 12.5 was where I had it before at minus 130. It's come up to 13.5. It's probably good there. I think it's a good matchup, and He put 14 up against Houston earlier this year. So with Jamal Murray out of the lineup, Reggie Jackson's playing time seems to be increasing. He played 33.8 minutes the last time they played. So I think that's a good spot. I think he's going to get some volume tonight. Thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely love that look.
All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's go to the I think this might be the highest scoring game of the night. We got the Wizards at the Bucks. Bucks are minus 12.5, so big time blowout potential here. The total in this one is 246.5. Josh, you want to start?
Yeah, so I have a relatively it's kind of a random look, but I just think his point prop is a little bit too low. They're giving us Malik Beasley at 9.5 points. And this guy is just a Wizards killer. And then you're talking about a team that doesn't really doesn't play defense. They're giving you a high total. I see, Giannis is day to day. I'm assuming he is going to play. But I just think that this number is a little bit too low for how fast-paced this game will be. You look at opposing shooting guards versus Washington. Hit rates. People are covering this 9.5 point mark, no problem. So I absolutely love Malik Beasley at 9.5 points. You look at his 1 day's rest, he's covered in 3 out of the last 4 games, 30, 20, 16, and 6 versus Boston. But 1 day's rest versus the Washington team, 25 and 16. They're giving me a 9.5 point prop here. I absolutely love this look. I think he clears 10 points, no problem.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that one. Washington's just basically giving up points to everybody. So, and 9.5 points for him. He could easily put up 3 threes, and that's almost everything right there. What did he do last game versus Washington? Yeah, he had 3 threes. So I think right there, you're almost clearing on that. So interesting though, 3 threes is plus 134. So if you wanted to attack this a different way and kind of get a plus money play, you could also try over 2.5 threes.
Yeah, and I was looking at his threes. I love his threes as well. He's cleared that in all 3 games versus Washington as well. So it's just something about, Washington just doesn't play defense, man. And obviously, like the main looks when you look at this game, you're going to be Damon Giannis. But we've seen multiple times this year where maybe Dame isn't on his game, and Giannis is just kind of going with the motion right now, steps up when he needs to. But with this game having potential of being a blowout in a sense, I still think Beasley gets his minutes and is able to play. And I don't know, I got a weird feeling that Giannis or somebody might sit out. So I just kind of wanted to catch that 9.5 before that number inflates and goes up if someone gets ruled out. I just have a weird feeling someone's going to get sat out in this game.
Yeah, if there's ever a game to get a little extra rest, this is probably the one. Let's see what he's done without Giannis.
He dropped 30 last time.
Yeah. So his only game without Giannis this year, he put up 30 against Toronto. So, and I'm sure that he had a ton of threes, 8 3-pointers. So might be locking in a Beasley 3-point ladder after this.
Couldn't talk you off
that. All right, Tom, you got anything in this game?
Yeah, hopefully he does play. I like Giannis assists in this game, over 5.5 assists, minus 110 on DK. He's cleared this last 4 times he played Washington, 8, 10, 13, and 7, 4 of 6 overall, 5, 8. That 8 was against Washington, 7, 9, 2, and 7. Last 3 of 4 with Dame. And then some nice comps. Siakam had 7, Embiid had 6, Julius Randle had 8. Little lesser degree comps. Jakob Poeltl 5, Grant Williams 7. But those top 3 are pretty good comps for Giannis. So liking his assists in the game against Washington. I was looking at his PRA was tracking nicely here in the model. A little bit scared in this game. That it'll get away. So I kind of like in a game where Milwaukee should be dominant. I like him to try to spread the ball around a little bit. So I like the assists here for Giannis against Washington.
Yeah, that's another way to rest is you basically change your game, right? And instead of getting banged going to the hoop like he normally does. You kind of dish out and let your other guys like Malik Beasley score. So could be a nice little correlated play there between Beasley and Giannis.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of looking at Giannis's assist. I was looking at Middleton's assist. Middleton just put up 7 and 7. His minutes were a season high 28 minutes last game. So I think we might be catching him on a kind of a step where his minutes restriction is being released, and the books haven't fully caught up to that. I also think if Giannis does get ruled out, this is another guy whose production is going to go up a lot. And then Dame. I mean, Dame's assists, we were fading him earlier in the year when he could barely hit 5.5, and lately he's been crushing, and he put up 7 against Washington. So I wasn't really sure which of them to go with. I probably would lean Middleton, especially with Giannis potentially sitting out, but I think Giannis is a great play as well.
Now, can I get your guys' input on what you guys think about? Because I was looking at Middleton's rebounds. I love Middleton. I mean, he's covered that in 5 straight games. Washington allowed 30th most rebounds. You look at him on 1 day's rest. 1 day's rest, he's covered it in 5 out of the last 6 games, and then he's covered it in 2 straight at home with 9 and 6 on 1 day's rest. You look at opposing small forwards: Gordon Hayward 9, Miles Bridges 10, Chris Middleton he had 6, Josh Hart 5, Derrick Jones 7. Scotty Barnes 9, Bridges 13. I mean, it's just so on and so on with the forwards. And you're giving us a 4.5 line, like you said. I think his minutes might get upped a little bit, as you've seen. It's starting to get more and more and more. I think that 4.5 line is a little too low.
Yeah, I love that play. You're reminding me that I wrote up a pick on X for Gordon Hayward on what was that, Tuesday night. 4.5 rebounds, and I forgot to hit send. I was loving this matchup against Washington, and he crushed. He put up 9 rebounds, like you said, and Miles Bridges in the same game put up 10. So, I think it's a great spot, especially if he plays 25 plus minutes. I think it's a home run. So, also a good spot for Middleton. All right, you guys got anything else in this game?
No.
That'll be it for me.
All right, let's keep moving. What will probably be the most exciting game of the night? You got the Kings at the T-Wolves. T-Wolves are minus 4.5 at home. Total is 229.5. So not a super high scoring game, but in terms of importance for the in-season tournament, like I said earlier, both of these teams are battling for the top spot in the C group in the West. So I think it's gonna be very competitive. I think it'll come down to a good last 2 minutes of the game. So with that said, Tom, you want to start off? You got anything on this one?
Yeah, can't be a T-Wolves game if I don't have something going on Anthony Edwards here. I like his RA in this game. It's actually the highest rated RA matchup across the board in our model today. 10.5 RA plus 105 on DK. I mean, look at his last 4 games against Sacramento: 12, 12, 13, and 16. 5 straight at home: 12, 15, 11, 16, 14. A couple recent comps against the Kings here. Austin Reeves had 19 RA. Skylar Mays 13. And then you got a couple of guys, lesser degree. Dillon Brooks had 10. Najee Marshall 10 and 11. Keldon Johnson 16. Even Max Strus got up to 9 RA against this Kings team. So he's gonna take the shoulder the load here tonight in this game, looking for the win in the in-season tournament game. So let's go with the superstar Anthony Edwards over 10.5 rebounds and assists.
I love it.
You love that, Josh?
I love it. I'm personally on Anthony Edwards as well. The line moved to 37.5, but last night it was 36.5 ERA. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I like it at 37.5 as well. And you can, I'm sure, like I know on FanDuel, you can alt lines and get it back to 36.5. And you might play like 10 cents or 10 points extra for it, but I still love it. He's been able to cover that number in 8 out of the 14 games this season, 3 out of the last 4 versus the Kings. On 1 day's rest, he's covered this number in 6 out of the 9. You look at 1 day's rest at home, he's covered this number in 3 out of the 5. But if you got the 36 and a half, covered it in 4 straight at home. I love this spot for Anthony Edwards. These are the type of games that Anthony Edwards gets up for when you have a guy like Fox going at you or something, those two. I think this game is going to be close, like wire to wire the whole time until the very end. And it's going to come down to maybe a last-second shot or a last-second free throw or something like that. But these are the type of games that I like backing Anthony Edwards in. It's just the games that he gets up for. He's a very competitive, fierce player. He loves playing at home in front of the fans. So definitely probably my favorite look is Anthony Edwards over his points, rebounds, and assists. And I also love Rudy Gobert double-double as a parlay piece if you can get that anywhere. If you know Rudy Gobert, he loves playing Sabonis. He's had a double-double in every game of his career besides one. I want to say it's like 15 out of 16 games versus Sabonis.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, he absolutely loves playing them. You look at his points, there's some 12.5s out there. I see that the baseline is sitting at 13.5, but there's DraftKings or MGM has 12.5 and PointsBet has 12.5. He's covered that number in 5 out of 7 home games, 4 straight home games. On 1 day's rest, he's covered it in 4 out of the 5, 4 straight. You look at his rebounds. I mean, I love Rudy Gobert in this matchup as well. I think there's something about Sabonis that he loves. He gets up for. His double-double is definitely in play, and Anthony Edwards PRA.
Nice. Good looks. I didn't realize that Rudy had that history with Sabonis. So
he loves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they're both up there on like top rebounders in the league. So they're both battling for that rebounding title along with Jokic. So so look for them both to be crashing the boards hard tonight. And Rudy's been getting some good minutes this year. If you look, he only played 31. Last 4 games, his minutes have been kind of up and down, but prior to that, he's getting 35 plus minutes, which I think is good. For a game like this, I could definitely see him getting more playing time given the importance of this win for the in-season tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
All right, cool. You guys got anything else in this one?
Should be it.
All right. It wouldn't be a show if we didn't talk about Anthony Edwards. It's literally a staple of the show. It used to be Malcolm Brogdon last year. Now it's Anthony Edwards this year. All right, cool. Let's move on. We got the Spurs at the Warriors. I think this is the ESPN game tonight. Warriors are minus 9.5 at home. Totals 235.5. Anything standing out for you guys on this one?
I got a couple in this game. Did you have something, Josh?
Yeah. At first I was kind of wanting to stay off of this game, but I found a trend that it's kind of interesting. Steph Curry and bounce back games is a real thing. If you look at it right here, I mean, had 27, dropped 41, had 24, dropped 42, had 21, dropped 30. He scored 16 points last game. You got to expect him to go off for 30 points tonight. Like,
yeah.
No lineup. Still, I want to say Draymond is out of the lineup.
He is.
When Draymond is out of the lineup. But again, it's just I'm going off of the trend of a bounce back game for him.
So I dug even deeper on this one, Josh, because I was feeling the exact same way about a bounce back game for Steph here. The last 2 times he scored 16 points in a game, he had 30 points and 50 points in the following game last season. So there you go.
Steph Curry, nice. 16 points. I bet he's just looking like that's unacceptable.
So I also like to shout out Props.Cash for adding the day of the week filters in. I absolutely love this, especially for things like Friday night games. Steph crushes on Friday nights. Last 6 of 7 Friday night games, he's gone over this line. You got to bring that down 1 to 28.5. But look at that. That's beautiful. Maybe brings the family out to the game on Friday night. Did I say? Yeah, sorry. Last 8 of 9 Friday night games, but that includes playoffs. He's done it in 6 of his last 7 regular season Friday night games. And then just real quick, Fox had 43 points against who they playing? The Spurs, right? SGA 28, Brunson 25, Luka had 33. Yeah, this is just a no-brainer. Steph is he's putting up at least 30 tonight.
Yeah, I love that look, and I just now realized that, like, because I love the day of the filter prop for the day of the week as well on props.com. So interesting, because you got to look at stuff like that, man. You have to, like, it's fans come out on the weekends, Friday night, work's over, it's a day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I love this look, and then I clicked the home filter on Friday night at home, covered in 4 straight. I mean, dude is just losing his mind. 33 like played the Spurs at home on a Friday night as well. So 30.9.
There we go. Put in the books. Let's go.
Yeah, I love that one. I love how you guys talk about Steph Curry, coming off of a down night with 27 points.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. Easy to say.
Yeah,
right. That'd be like a high night for most people in the league. But no, he's in a great spot tonight, and pretty high total, 235 points. So, let's talk about the Spurs side. I kind of like Wemby for rebounds in this game. Let's take off some of these filters. But he's coming off of a 15 rebound game against the Clippers. He did have a couple down game prior to that, but then 13 against Memphis. He's more or less like a guarantee for 9 rebounds. And I think this matchup is pretty good, especially with Draymond out of the lineup. And if you look also, Looney is really not playing very much. I'm going to go to Looney for a second just so we can see his playing time. But over the last 2 games, he's played 21.8 minutes and 17 minutes. So you basically, the Warriors are going small is what that means. Maybe they're relying a little bit more on Kuminga. But, you got Draymond out, Looney playing limited minutes, but perhaps I think Wemby for 10 rebounds is good. If you look at centers, versus the center. Oh, we got to go back to Wemby here. Centers versus the Warriors. Nurk was kind of held in check in the most recent game, but Şengün had 13, Holmgren had 10 and 10 in consecutive games. Gobert had 13, Gobert had 10. So not only are guys getting there, but they're also doing it in consecutive games. I think that's a really good pattern. I think this guy's good for 10 rebounds tonight. What do you think?
I think that's a nice play. I was actually on his points, so I like the fact that we were both on Wemby here. I think maybe you could put them together. A PR play might even be in order here, but I liked his 19.5 points, his minus 104 on FanDuel. Nice comps that have performed well against Golden State here. Şengün had 30. Guy like Jabari Smith, nice comp for Wemby. He got to 17 and 14 points. So getting close there. Chet had 36 against Golden State. Also had 24 against Golden State. Karl Anthony Towns put up 33. Another decent comp for Wemby there. Evan Mobley, 19 points. So I like this. The only thing I don't love is Wemby so far in his young career, his road splits are not great. He's been much better scoring at home. So, it's to be expected with a young guy. So that held me back on hammering this big time. But I think he's in a nice spot to put up 20 points in this game, given what some of these, power forward center comps have done against Golden State.
I love it.
Yeah, it seems good. I will, just to counter that, the Oklahoma game there on 11-14. I think that was a nationally televised game. This one's a nationally televised game. So we'll see how, I was always skeptical about this guy's ability to handle the pressure when I saw him throw out that first pitch at Yankee Stadium before the season started.
Man.
But
he gets up for this stuff.
He gets up for it, but so far he hasn't really proven on the main stage. I think this Knicks game was also nationally televised. So that's why I went the rebounds route, just because I think regardless of his performance, he's going to be out there a bunch and he's going to be getting boards. But the points are compelling as well. So we'll look at both of those.
All right.
Anything else in this game?
Nope.
No. All right, let's go. We got 2 more to go. Let's go. Pelicans at Clippers. Clippers are minus 5.5. Total is 226.5. Josh, did you have anything on this one?
Yeah, I actually love Brandon Ingram's assist in this game, man. I love it. I don't know if you guys know, but the Pelicans are actually like 9-1 in their last 10 games versus the Clippers. They absolutely own the Clippers. And
Wow.
I mean, we know Ingram played for the Lakers, so I mean, it's like a going back home trip. But Ingram, he's been able to cover this number in 7 out of the 12 games. If you filter out CJ McCollum, he's covered this number in 6 out of the 9. If you go on the road, he's covered that without CJ in all three games, 5, 6, and 5. Even with CJ McCollum in the lineup, he's covered in all 4 road games as well. He absolutely loves playing the Clippers. He's covered it in back-to-back games with 13 and 8 assists. We're getting a 4.5 number. I just think that number is a little bit too low. We look at the Friday filter, 5 and 8 this season as far as his assists. So covered that in both games on the Friday filter as well. 8 out of his last 10 games on Friday, dating back to last season. He's averaging 6 assists per game, covered that in 4 straight. So I absolutely love his assist line today. He actually is second on the team in potential assist per game behind CJ McCollum, which is obviously not in the lineup. He's averaging 10.7 potentials a game. So I love this spot for CJ here, or for Brandon Ingram here. You can't, I mean, as far as comps, there's not many that can, I mean, you can look at because they list him as a forward, but Ingram brings up the ball a lot. So I kind of look at Ingram as like a shooting guard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jalen Green had 5, Desmond Bain 6, Reeves 7, Taylor Horton-Tucker 8, which is he's more of a point guard. Jordan Clarkson 6. I mean, just the hit rate for this and how Brandon Ingram gets up to play the Clippers and, going back to LA, I love this number for him. I think 4.5 is just slightly too low.
Yeah, I like that. I think you're getting a really good buy low spot coming off of a 4-3-3 game. But like you said, he's kind of like a Durant player where the ball just kind of ends up in his hands almost every single possession. So that is what you need to get all those potential assists and ultimately convert to assists. So Tom, you like this one?
Yeah, I do. So we designate Brandon Ingram as a wing in our model here, and a couple recent wings to play the Clippers. Keldon Johnson had 6 assists and 5 assists in back-to-back games. Jalen Green, you mentioned, with 5. Desmond Bain, another nice comp, 6. Even a guy like Dante Exum, 6 assists. So yeah, I love this. I'm on another guy on the Pels here too against the Clippers because I think that's a nice matchup. But yeah, loving that Ingram assist.
Go ahead, give us your pick. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess
what?
who it is.
You want to guess?
Yeah, Joe Val.
You know it.
I know
Were you on Joe Val too, Dave?
Yeah, I mean we're creatures of habit here at PTM. We find the guys we like and we lock into them for the entire season.
All right, you take it then. Go.
All right, so I liked his rebounds. Is that what you were on?
I was actually on his PRA. So give the rebound line. Yeah.
I also liked his RA because his assists, if you look at his assists in the last couple games, they've been up. So I think you're getting some good value on the RA because he could easily put up 3 assists. And if you look, the rebound line was 8.5 and the RA line is 10.5, more or less for the same price. So you're kind of getting some value there because if he puts up four assists, then it's a no-brainer. But let me just go through the rebounding really quick. 8.5 rebounds. Let me just start. His playing time is kind of variable. He's kind of a guaranteed 20 minutes a game, but he can go up to the high 20s. I just looked with 20 minutes a game. Joe Val has a 73% hit rate, hitting 9 rebounds over the last year and a half. If he gets up to 24 minutes, which I think he will, because again, this is an important game for the Pelicans for the in-season tournament. 89% hit rate with 24 plus minutes. What I really liked was his, like Josh was pointing out before, his home away splits. If you look at him on the road, I believe they're on the road here. Yeah, they're in LA, like we were saying.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this splits over the last 10 games. 90% hit rate. Last 15 games, 93% hit rate on the road. So for some reason, these guys all like getting out of New Orleans. Maybe there's a few distractions in New Orleans. I couldn't imagine what that would be, but they play well on the road, and I think Joe Val's no different. So that's the rebounding side. You want to finish off the PRA look?
Yeah.
Tom?
So like you mentioned, I think I think playing the Clippers requires him to play Joe Val a little more. If you look at the last 3 games, they played 28 minutes, 32 minutes, and 24 minutes. His last 3 games against the Clippers. So I liked his PRA line at 23.5. It was minus 105 on DK. He's cleared this in 6 of his last 7 games overall, averaging 28.3 PRA. You look at his last 3 against the Clippers. Yeah, you got it right there. 35, 34, and then just got hooked there with 23. But what I like, here's some of the comps for Joe Val against the Clippers lately. So you had 2 guys. The 2 most recent were Zach Collins and Şengün. Both had PRA lines of 30.5. So they're on another level. They're a level up from Joe Val here, but they both finished with 28 and 35. So both cleared this based on Joe Val's line, at least. Bismack Biyombo had 28 PRA against the Clippers on a line of 20.5. Dwight Powell, 18 on a line of 14.5. Day'Ron Sharpe, 21 PRA on a line of 12.5. And then our boy Mitch Robinson, 28 PRA on a line of 18.5. And then if you go on the other end of the spectrum there, Jokic had 57, AD had 40. I think this is a great game against Zubac here. No Mason Plumlee. I think Joe Val's going to have a field day.
Nobody cares what you just said about Bismack Biyombo when they're looking at a screen on PropSec Cash. It says he's hit 31 out of his last 32 games when he plays 28 plus minutes.
There you go.
Dude, look at that sea of green floating around. This is a great matchup, and I think like we were talking about, you put him on the road, it's even
100%. There we go.
19 out of 19 with 28 plus minutes, averaging 34.1. Not even close. So I think it's a great look here, Tom. Josh, what were you going to say?
Like I was looking at the rebounds, and I just went down to 25 minutes because I think he's going to play 25 minutes. You filter 25 on the road as far as his rebounds. I think this might be my biggest bet of the year.
Not.
There we go, baby.
That's he's going to play at least 25 plus minutes. Trouble. I mean, he's averaging almost 30 minutes per game on the road at 29.4. So I think that's just absolutely insane. 25 out of the last 27 games. I mean, I don't know how many in a row. I don't feel like counting how many in a row that is straight. That's
yeah.
It's an absolute hammer spot. That's a great find.
17 straight games on the road with 25 plus minutes. So, like you said, I think the only thing that's going to stop him from both of these bets is foul trouble. So hopefully he stays out of foul trouble. Clippers just picked up somebody, right? Backup center. Who did they just get? You guys remember?
Not sure.
I forgot who they got, but anyway, they have a little bit more depth with Plumlee out, but regardless, I think this is a good smash spot.
Yeah, right, even look at his fouls the last 3 games. I mean, he had 5 and 1. The game he played the most minutes, he had 5 fouls, but he had 2 and 3 in the other games against the Clippers. So I think we'll be all right. What a way to finish the pod. This is a nice hammer spot here on Joe Val to finish the pod up. Love it.
Going down his game log versus the Clippers: 12, 13, 7, 9, 16, 15, 13, 11, 15, 12, 16, 10, 15, 12. I've seen enough.
There you go. And I mean, the Clippers are nice to look at because they've been fielding more or less like a similar core for the last 3-4 years, right? Between Kawhi, PG, Zubac. So yeah, I think this bodes very well. Let's go. Let's hammer it.
Daniel Tice was who I was thinking of. I'm not too concerned about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Significantly altering this bet here, so we're good.
No.
All right. You guys, did we miss anything? You guys got anything else to add?
That's it. Cleared the notebook out. That's it.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm just gonna go hammer Jonas's Sure.
That's great. Love that.
All right. Nice work. Josh, thanks for joining us. Pleasure to have you as always. So hope you come back real soon.
I'd love to. It's always been a pleasure. Always.
100%. All right. I think we got some good ones here, especially this last one. We got smiles on everyone's faces with that last pick. So we'll lock in a few of these. I have a feeling Joe Val will make an appearance up on X shortly. But nice work today. Let's all enjoy the games. Let's all make some money.
Awesome.